Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we're going to start looking at these split functions. There's five of them. So the first one, split, is, the split function, or the Ramda's version of split, which is on the string method. Uh, so we all know what split is, but let's look at their version. So their version takes a string or a regular expression, or actually, uh, yeah, it takes a string or a regular expression, and then it takes a string and it returns an array of strings. So I was a little confused at first because of these parentheses, but it's the or. Um, so we do r dot split, and then we take the string that we want to split on. So let's split on an empty space, and then we need the string. So we'll say hello space world, and if we run that, we get an array of hello and world. So this is split. And then we could, of course, I like to do like a split on space and then do r dot split and do that. And then we could say split on space and get the same, oh, split on space, r dot split, like that. So, this is one of those that's built into the native JavaScript string prototype, the method on the string prototype. But of course, this one is curried and it's data last. Um, and you can use a regular expression, right? So, gosh, I'm not good at regular expressions, but let me give it a go. Let me say const split on uh oh, lowercase because of camel case. That's kind of weird. Whatever. Um, and then we could do like that. Go away. No, is it the other way? The other slashes? Like that. And let's see if that worked. Yeah, and then we got hell, and then a W, and then Earled. Yeah, so that's split. So anyway, the reason we go through that is so that we can look at these other ones. Let's look at split at. So split at has two type signatures. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. It takes a number and then a list of A's, and then it returns a array of list of A's, or a list of lists of A's. Or it could take a number and a string and return a pair of strings. So the number is an index, the index where the array is split. So that's the key here. When you say split at, you're going to tell it what index to split at. And then the array. Then it returns an array, returns a pair. So let's just look at it. Our dot split at. So let's say we want to split at index 3, and then we want to do hello world again. So split it three. So 0, 1, 2, 3, the second L, right? And it splits right there. So we could also do an array. So we're going to split at the 4. Yeah, or right before the 4. So 0, 1, 2, and this is the 3, and that's where we split. And then it gives us an array. So that's really useful when you have data that has the same shape and you want to split it. I don't really know too much more to say about that. Oh, except that you can split from the end. It could split at -2, and it would also split at 4. Yeah, and it does that. So just to make sure, saved it, split it the after the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then of course this is nested inside an outer list. Um, yeah, pretty cool. Um, just because there's not much to do, let's look at the implementation. They're using slice. Yeah, so you could do that too. You could do r splice, slice, um, -1, and then take 1 and get an error. That splice is not a function. Oh, not splice, but slice. So we got a negative array. Maybe we can't start negative here. Just, this should split on the 2. No, it doesn't. Okay, now I gotta look up slice again. We could do it right here. Okay, so this is saying split at 1, which is 2 in this array, and take 2. So if I did this to infinity and beyond, I would get that. Or I could just say, all right, split at 1, don't provide it a second argument. And we get sort of the same thing. So I'm glad I did that. But slice is just going to give us a flat array. But this is going to give us a pair of everything before where we split and after where we split. It's not exactly the same. So let's go back and look. Here they're using slice, the index, or starting at 0 to the uh, to the index that we pass in. And here's the array. Oh, and okay, and this is inside an array that starts right before the slice and ends right here. So they're doing two things. So they start slicing from the 0 to the index in the array. And then also for the second element of the outer array, we slice from the index to the length of the array in the array. And that's what split at is. Yeah. So we can make this ourselves, but it's handy that it's built in. That's split at. Uh, let's go and look at split every. Okay, so this one, let's compare type signatures. This one takes a number. Oh, click. So split at takes a number and a list, but it returns a list of one list of A's. This gives us a pair of arrays inside an array, or the string version. So the same thing. It's just the only thing that's different is the return value. So this splits a collection into slices of a specified length. This is like a chunk array. We could do, so I have my r.data, which is an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could split at every two, like chunk it into two. So this should give me an array of 1, 2. Let's see. Yeah, gives me a nested array, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's a little, yeah, okay. So it gives us a list of arrays, not, what did the other one give us? Okay, the other one just gave us two arrays. This one will give us however many. So if we change this to three, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3 in one and 4, 5 in the other. Yeah, so this is like, I consider this a chunk. There's some sort of library out there that has something called chunk. Yeah, not split every. I just don't feel like we should go on and on and on. We'll look at this though, because it's not just arrays of, well, it could be an array of anything, but not just arrays. It could also be a string. This will split it into three lists, or not three lists, but three items in an array. Ubar bass. Yeah, so that's split every. And then we've got split when. So this one is going to take a predicate function, something from type A to a Boolean, and then a list of A's, and then it's going to return similar to what this returns split at. So it's going to return a pair of arrays. Okay, let's look at this definition here. It takes a list and a predicate and returns a pair of lists with the following properties. Okay, so that's simple. It takes this and it returns this, or list and a predicate. Maybe they should have said takes a predicate and a list, but this is still correct. Uh, so it returns a pair of lists with the following properties. First, the result of concatenating the two output lists is equivalent to the input list. That's saying if you split something and you concatenate them, that's the reverse, and then you're going to go back to what you originally passed in. So let's look at that first. Let's take their example, r dot equals. So we're going to split when the item in the list satisfies this predicate. So we're going to say when the item equals 2. And then let's use d.list, which is an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's 1. And then when we get to 2, that's where we split it, because we split when we split when the item equals 2 in the list. So the result of concatenating the two output lists is equivalent to the input list. That means if we took, or not concat, if we took an array 1, which is down here, and an array of 2, 3, 4, 5, our answer, and we concatenate them, we should get back a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what that first thing means. The second one is none of the elements of the first output list satisfies the predicate. Okay, takes a list and a predicate and returns a pair of lists where none of the elements of the first output list satisfies the predicate. So this is saying that everything in the first list here, where we split when it's 2, that means everything in the first list should not be 2. So it's the opposite, like split where R does not, well, no, we couldn't say that because then it would split everywhere. But my point is that everything on this side is not when something equals 2, or not when the predicate returns true. And the third one, if the second output list is not empty, its first element satisfies the predicate, right? So that's just saying that if you have a list of more than one thing, the first item here is the one that satisfies the predicate. But the rest of the things may or may not, because it's split when. Like, so it's the first case that matches this predicate. And that leads us into the last one, which I love the name of this, split whenever. To me, it's like, hey, when should I split? And somebody's like, just split whenever. Like, we got 80% code coverage, we'll be fine. Um, so it's essentially the same type signature, except for you're not getting a pair back. You're getting, like this last one, it could split into however many places, because you split whenever the predicate is true, not when the predicate is true the first time. So let's use the uh, same example, but let's use a longer list. Let's do x's and make ourselves some x's. All right, so we got that. So let's do the same thing. So we split it 1, or split it 2, when the value here equals 2. So that's the second one. So we have a list of 1 and a list of everything else. So that's essentially the same as when. Like if we do when, we get the same thing. Strange that there's a space right here, but whatever. Uh, but what we could do is we could make something that says is divisible by 3, and let's just do the simple, take x's. Oh, sorry, no, just take an x. And when the x mod 3 is equal to 0, then it's equally divisible by 3. Um, and then we can use that, div by, I just realized, let's just do is div by, then we pass the number 3. No, no, I had it right to begin with. And it's 0.3. All right, let's see what I did. It caused an error. Predicate is not a function. Oh, R by. There we go. So anytime it's divisible by 3. So 1, 2, and then 3 is divisible by 3 evenly. And then 4 by 5, and 6 is divisible. And 7, 8, 9 is divisible. We get 10. So a lot of times you could use split whenever instead of split, except, yeah, because this would only equal 2. Oh, no, there's 2 another time in the list. I think that's why they did that. We used my list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but in this example, this would split at 2. Let's use this example. Okay, so we've got two twos in here. Get rid of that. We'll say r dot equals 2. Yeah. And then so we get 1, and then there's 2, so we split. And then we get 3 and 1. And here's another 2, so we split, and then we get 3. But we don't get the number that we split on. That disappears. We never even looked at the thing, the description. It says splits an array into slices on every occurrence of a value. Let's take a peek at that. Okay, so very imperatively, they're manually tracking an accumulator list and a current list, and I don't even want to go through this. It's not trivial, I should say. Yeah, so that's all our splits. We looked at split, split at, split every, split when, split whenever, and then we'll pick up in another video and start with the starts with. So thank you for spending your time with me. Tell a friend, and I'll see you in the next video.